See this bottom layer after in 10 minutes, we're still only at 3 grams. And it's because the super fines get really stuck to the middle layer. So we gotta keep going to do it right. The most efficient way to sift is to use something small and plastic like this bottle and jam away at it. Gets it going the fastest. After vigorous tamping, that's what we're left with: the coarse, mid-level, and the fine. I don't like waste, so I typically use these little small bottles to make sure I get everything out. Switch this around. And use a little brush. So for those of you who think that this is a wasteful practice, it is not. And if ever I have extra, I just mix it in with other grounds. So I am a fan of the mixed shot. I usually grind a little more than I have to for every shot. And then I mix that together to see what the culmination of all my shots tastes like, kind of to compare and contrast. So this is 10 grams. Okay, so that is the coarse. Now we'll do the mid-level. I used to prepare these on my way to work, slamming this into the drive selector of my car. By the time I get to work in my 15 or 20 minute drive, I'd have sifted coffee. So this too, coming in at 9.5 grams. Fines, it's probably a little bit more. So usually I grind more than one shot in one go. And I found that coffee taste doesn't really degrade much in like 1 or 2 days after being ground and sifted. So these are good. I ended up, this is a pretty fine grind to begin with. It was a setting 8 using a roast that had been treated with humidity, which causes the grind to get coarser. So you have to go finer on the grinder to compensate for the distribution. So this is 18 grams. Great, and now we will get to making the shot. So I prepare the shot with the bottom layer first. I try to stick to the same distribution that came from the grind. So this had 18 grams, so we could do 9, 9, and 10, or we could do 10 fine and then like 5 and 6. So this is about 10 here. And then I use this distributor. It's handmade from a anchovy can. So it'll push more grounds to the side. And that will combat side channeling, because I have a lever machine. Then we use a tamper, and we do a light tamp, usually calibrated to about 400 grams. So it's pretty light. Okay, so this is the coarse. We will do about 5.5 grams. And I'm usually fine measuring out it in this way because I've done a lot of complex shots, so I like being exact. Some of the other ones you can do, or you could do a grinder only shot. You could You could do a staccato tamp, which is where you put half the grinds in and then put the tamp and then do another tamp. So I usually like my distributors to spin, or to allow the basket to spin. And usually I do just a very, very like a touch, just to flatten the surface of that bottom part. All right, so now we have to do the median. So this will do 2 5.5, so we'll pull it up to about 20 grams. Did we do it the, try to do this either? Can't tell. Yeah, that's right. Doesn't hurt to double check. So actually, we'll just take this total shot up to 21 grams. Probably just do 22 because I've been pulling 22 for this roast as a staccato tamp. And the staccato shot sits a bit lower because the particles have less space in between them. So again, I mean, you don't need to use toothpicks. I'm just using this out of convenience. I've made separate plastic tampers for this, but again, this is just touching the surface. So voila. And I've been using a screen just for convenience, shower screen, which I usually just plop right on there. That's it. Let's pull the shot. So I've rinsed the shower head, and now I'm at the proper temperature. I'm ready to go. So this shot comes in a bit under extracted at 17% at a 1.15 to 1 ratio. But that just means I need to adjust the layers. Probably need to add more coffee, because if the coffee doesn't go to the top, I've noticed you don't get as much of a syrupy taste as usual. So I made some adjustments. I just increased the total shot weight to 24 grams. So I did 12 grams fine and 6 grams coarse, then 6 grams medium. I also dropped the temperature of the machine down 2 degrees to slow down the rate of it. And so this shot came out a lot better. And it came out around 18% TDS, and it was just a hair above a 1-to-1 shot. So it ended up at a 19% extraction rate, which is really high for a 1-to-1 shot. So I had a few pointers for Sprometheus or anyone else trying this, looking at his video. And the first is that sifting is hard. And one of the challenges is that 400 micron screen. So I showed earlier in the video that I slam it against a corner, shake, and then slam it, and that's been the most effective method. It's not the best experience in the long run, and I hope that one day a sifter will come along that will solve these problems. But the shot is really good, to the point that I made this shot regularly for a year, and I think I've sifted through at least 10 kilograms of coffee. So make sure you sift long enough. If you measure the bottom weight, if that weight keeps increasing, it means you're not done sifting. The second thing is his weights were too low. So he had 15 grams total. He started with 4 grams fine on the bottom, 4 grams coarse, and then 7 grams mid. It should have been closer to something like 8 grams on the bottom, 4 grams, and 4 grams. Or even higher, actually. So I found overpacking the basket was one of the keys to get the shot to pull right. So I use a 20 gram precision basket, either VST or Staccato, and I put, for the second shot in this video, I put 12 grams fine on the bottom, then 6 grams coarse, and then 6 grams of the mid-range. And as you saw, I got a really high extraction yield in a 1-to-1 shot. And he was pulling a 2-to-1 shot. So that's also a thing I wouldn't recommend pulling such a long shot, because you start hitting an extraction rate that's like 27, 28%, and you're getting a lot of the more bitter notes. So it's better to pull shorter, and if you like a longer shot, just add a little bit of hot water, and it'll pull out the flavors. And then finally, he did do pre-infusion in the bloom, but if you look at the video in the second shot specifically, the pre-infusion goes on for 20 seconds, and the flow rate changes around 5 seconds into the video. It slows down significantly. So really you want to aim for a pre-infusion of 10 to 20 seconds if you can. And his machine did 6 bars of pressure, which is great. In my videos I do pressure pulsing, but if you can't do that, then do 6 bars is better than 9, in my opinion. So I do hope you try the shot. You can try it just with a grinder. You can do 3 grind settings. Like for the niche, I've used the settings 0, 15, and 30. You could also do staccato tamping. So you don't necessarily need a sifter. And the key benefit of when I made this method is it enabled me to better understand coffee and how to improve coffee. So let me know what you think.